We're Dosh. We support people with a learning disability with their money. We take a person-centred approach to the support we offer, and we want to help the people we support to better understand their money. We can support people with a learning disability with financial decisions, banking, keeping money safe, paying bills, managing benefits. We believe passionately in the work we do as it helps people be more independent, have more control, and live the life they choose.
There are many barriers for people with a learning disability in regards to managing their money, especially when it comes to things like banking. The first one would be mental capacity, so there's not enough understanding within the banking system and wider government benefit agencies as well. Mental capacity is about having the ability to make a decision about something, for example, deciding to open and manage a bank account, and the Mental Capacity Act says that everyone should be supported to make decisions for themselves when they can. Secondly, proof of identity and proof of address is a massive issue for people in terms of the benefit system. You can't open a universal credit claim without the appropriate ID, and many people, especially the people that I support and people with learning disability, often don't meet those requirements.
Hiya! Hiya! I'm Ash, Chris's support worker. Chris's main issues money-wise have been the fact that he's got limited capacity. One of the real issues was getting him a bank account. Because of the lack of capacity, he couldn't consent to getting a bank account. Another one that has been quite recent is trying to change his broadband. Luckily, we've finally managed to change his broadband, but because they couldn't speak to Chris on the phone, it was quite limited on how we could do that.
Another thing for us as advocates is that we wish the BF 57, which is authority to act as that person's corporate appointee, was recognised wider than with the Department of Work and Pensions, because there's not an understanding of what an appointee is. There's lots of issues as well in regards to making more documentation from things like places like banks and the government agencies like PIP more accessible for people. A PIP application in itself is very, very hard work. It requires a lot of writing, thinking, and you have to also provide evidential support. Someone with a learning disability who did not have an advocate or someone supporting them would be highly unlikely to be able to complete the form as it should be completed. There are also practical barriers to accessibility for people with a learning disability. So, a universal credit now. So everyone within the benefit system is going to be gradually migrated over to universal credit, with the exception of things like personal independence payment and disability living allowance. Universal credit is been designed for an able-minded person and is managed online primarily. In order to be able to manage that claim effectively, irrespective of whether you're able to do it or not, you have to have access to a computer, a smartphone, broadband, and then you have to also be IT literate to be able to do that. Then if you add into that the mix there that someone with a learning disability who has to log in, remember things like remembering passwords, PIN numbers, all these types of things. Also the same could be said for banks, signing the signature the same way every time. If they were to go in and sign, if they can't remember the PIN number, maybe someone with a physical disability might not be able to sign the same every time. They might not be able to remember their PIN number for various reasons. And again, in regards to, as things migrate more and more over to the digital age where we're managing things online, people with a learning disability are being forgotten about.
When I decided that I wanted to be more independent, my mum contacted social services to see what support was available. I had a welfare assessment. They sent me a list of housing associations. Then they closed my case as being actioned. There was no help from an actual social worker to guide me.
Do people with learning disabilities get to participate in their own financial and property decisions? Yeah, they do, and they should by law, and they're protected through our Mental Capacity Act best interest decision process. We found from experience that there are many areas of participation, and particularly choices where a person can be involved in decision making in respect of their finances. The DOSH best interest decision process, which I referenced previously, that facilitates the involvement of a person that we support by asking specific questions about how the person was involved in the process, and that's monitored by the financial advocate.
To support people with a learning disability, more training should be given to people in banks. Carers and appointees should be included in the process too. Applications need to be made easy and accessible on any digital device, and it should be easy to read. ID can be a challenge for people with a learning disability, especially if they don't have the communication skills to say what they want. All of these and more are obstacles that people with a learning disability face every day.